I know why I'm so fat. Because all I do is eat. It's 2:19 a.m. on 2/28/2004. I'm up because I really wanted to get better at Call of Duty and I was going to practice. Went out, had a cigarette, and this came into my mind. So instead of playing Call of Duty, I wanted to talk out loud. These videos that I post on social media is just me thinking out loud. They're really not for any other purpose. Also, too, when I die, my kids could go back and see a visual representation of what I was like on this planet. I think visual representation is very important. Yeah. And it's kind of like when Jesus walked the earth, right? When we talk about the New Testament, there was no documentation of Jesus on the earth during the time he was on the earth. These are the stories that we read, are just accounts that happened. I think it's very, very important that we have visual, written, oral documentation. So this is what I do, because when I die, I want my kids to be able to go back and listen to how crazy their fucking father was. But anyway, welcome to Chasing That High. 2/28/2004, 2:21 a.m. And I think I'm gonna go in on this because yo, just punch me in. My mother makes the most amazing bread. You're not supposed to eat on stream, but fuck it. While I was outside smoking a cigarette, it came to my mind, how come there's so little people with all the net worth, and there are us who are struggling every single day? And I just want to touch on a couple of things that while I was outside smoking a cigarette, like, damn, I'm poor. But 1% of the people alive own like 90% of the wealth. And it's unfair that these guys are so rich. But let's take, for instance, Jeff Bezos' net worth. $196 billion in 2004. That's what Jeff Bezos' worth. He is the founder of Amazon. $196 billion. If Jeff Bezos was to give every American $1 million, that would be $300 million. And that would definitely cure poverty in America. $196 billion. Like, that's not even fair. Let's go to the net worth of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is worth $200.6 billion. I mean, let's round it up. That's $400 billion between two guys. Let's go to Bernard. Bernard is worth $231 billion. That's 600 billion between three guys. Right? Because we're just going to say, we're just going to give or take, the 200 billion a piece, right? So 200, 246. I mean, that to me is just unfair. And we'll go to Bill Gates' net worth. 127 billion. So we did Elon Musk, Bezos, Bernard, so that's 246. We have Bill Gates at 100 billion. So 246, that's $700 billion between four guys. These guys could basically end world poverty. It should be illegal that these guys have that much money. We gotta boo these fuckers. That is crazy to me. Bring up the chat here. Yo, Coco, what's going on? Larry Jordan. Yeah. The chat's busy. This is absolutely fucking bullshit. Right? Who else we got on this list? How many trillionaires are there in the world? Yeah. Who else we got? Give me a name, Larry Jordan. Who else should we look up? Give me a name, Larry, right now of someone that we should look up. Because this money, Bagashaw. Bagashaw. Mikey. Bagashaw is the only human being to go to the Supreme Court without a lawyer. Bagashaw is a legend. Ethiopian guy that goes around suing people who treats Ethiopians wrong. Took a case to the Supreme Court. He tried to change the game. Bagashaw's a legend. That's an inside joke for us that worked at BMC. An inside joke. He did try to change the game, Mikey. He tried to change the game. Coca's in the chat, man. Fuck. Larry Jordan's in the chat. Farlon.com is in the chat. So I think that wealth should be distributed to the poor. And here is my spiel. In 2020, as you know, I'm a tour photographer. In 2020, we had COVID. All the tours stopped in the United States. There was no tours going on, so obviously I couldn't work. So what I did was I called the government and I said, hey, listen, I cannot work because you guys shut down the government. I had to fill out a form. The government said, okay, we're going to give you $600 a week during these times. So the government gave me $600 a week. I took that $600. I paid back child support. I had parking tickets. I paid off my motorcycle. I used that $600 mainly at the Belmont food market, right? Because we had to eat good food, right? And, I thought we were going to die. So then I started spending some of that PPP money I don't know if it's PPP money, but whatever it was. Started spending that money to take care of my kid because we just had a new baby and I have 3 kids plus a beautiful stepdaughter. So we started to go to the farmers markets to get food. I think the sum of the money that the government gave me was $20,000. Stay with me here. Give me some music. I want you guys to stay with me here. That beat is loud. Let me turn that beat down just a little bit. That beat's beating in my head. All right, here we go. Larry Jordan said, Larry Jordan just said in the chat, if you used to give poor people money just so, the world would become a mess. Look how opioids has use increased. It should be distributed in the right way. I agree with you. But I think that American citizens should get money from these rich guys. They should. Because I don't think, let me just scroll up here and stay with me, man. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Bernard. I think if they were to give us some of that money, it wouldn't affect their bottom line. Right? Okay. So during COVID, I was watching a lot of you guys on social media. I would assume that everybody in America that was unable to work were able to apply for the subsidy and for us to get money. A lot of us went out, bought weed, bought Hennessy, went crazy on Amazon. That's why his net worth is the way it is, because we were just buying shit from Amazon. We were just buying shit from Amazon. Just buying shit. And that was during COVID. So, in a way, the government did give everybody a golden egg. Did you drop the egg? Did you make scrambled egg or a fried egg with the egg that the government gave you? Stay with me here. Stay with me here. During that time, during the COVID from 2020 to about 2022, right? In that time slot, Boston was giving out $50,000 to people for their down payment on a house. So let's say you wasn't a fuck up like me, or let's even say you are a fuck up like me, right? You have 20,000. You have 50,000. Do the math, Larry. How much is 20,000 plus 50,000? That's 70,000. So technically, the government was handing out $70,000 to people who lived in the city of Boston. Now, granted, thanks, Larry. Thank you for the math. Granted, house prices were crazy, right? Because I do real estate photography. I did some properties that were overbid $1 million. It was probably the biggest money grab in United States history. People were just selling their house, moving out of the city because they wanted no part of being in a box. They sold their house, they sold their property in the inner city, moved out to the suburbs. So I was moving around watching the game unfold. Because in the first half of COVID, not only did they shut down the government, but they also shut down real estate photography. They didn't allow us. So I was like, fuck, the two industries that I'm involved in got fucked. Bunch of rats. This is why I can't fit in my shirt. I'm eating, it's homemade bread. My mom made it. But still, I'm eating bread at 2:36 a.m. in the morning. It's gluttonous. Wash it down with some water. I was watching home prices explode. The rich got richer. The poor got money. The first time in American history where everybody at some point was raised up a little bit. You cannot deny that fact. You cannot deny the fact that during COVID, yes, the rich got richer, but people with no money got money. They got money. What did you do with that opportunity during that time frame? I'm gonna give you a little story. So during that time frame, me and the old lady were like, shit, obviously it's a money grab. Let's go and buy a property in Fall River. So we went out to the house. They were selling the house for $270. Now me with my real estate genius, right? Because I'm a genius. When it comes to real estate, I'm a fucking genius. Right? Chat me up. This is the body of Christ. Went out to Fall River to look at this property. Everything is set. We're about to buy this thing. We went to go do the home inspection, which was pretty cool because during COVID, they were waiving home inspections. But my mom was like, yo, listen, I'm not playing that game. My mom's my real estate agent. She's like, we're not playing that game. We want an inspection. Okay, stay with me. I know it's late. Stay with me. So while we're doing the home inspection, the report came back. And the report was fucking crazy. There was actually a fire in the house that went undocumented. When we did the research, half of the house had burnt down and they fixed it, but no fire was called. I don't know how that happened. So when we sent that to the owner, we're like, yo, listen, there was a fire. We went to the fire station to see, did they respond to this address? There was no record of it. There's no fucking record of it. There were beetle holes in the support beams. I guess wood beetles go and they eat out the which is very common in New England, that beetles eat the fucking support structure of the house. The second unit was a 3-family house. The second unit was redone. The first and the third was a disaster. In Fall River, New Bedford, the kitchens is not together, right? So you'll have like a stove in one part and then a kitchen sink on another. It's just a disaster. It's because I don't know what they do out there, but there's no. So basically, it was a 2-2-1. No, it was a 3-2-1, right? And the third floor needed to be gutted. The first floor needed to be gutted. The second floor had a tenant and she wanted to stay there. And it was like, okay, the second floor is okay. But we knew that the first and the third floor needed to be gutted. Also, too, out in New Bedford and Fall River, they have a space heater in the middle of the apartments, right? There's not like a central air. There's like this giant fucking space heater in the middle. And when they did the inspection, we needed 3 space heaters. They would last the winter, but we would have to adjust. We would have to address that situation over the summer to keep the tenants warm in the wintertime. So we knew that going in, right? We knew about the fire. We knew about the beetle rot. The first floor tenant was out of there. They're going to go live with the owner. The guy on the third floor, he basically overseed the property. So he would have been the property manager. When the report came back to us, we told the owner we would like to hire a contractor for the contractor to then walk through the building to give us an estimation of how much it will cost to repair this disaster. He walked through, he gave me a price. It's like, this is probably going to cost you around $60,000. Larry, you with me? So $270 for the crib, $50,000 worth of renovations to bring it livable for the tenants. Spoke to the old lady and I said, my mom was like, you guys gonna put in an offer? I said, yeah, I think I want to put an offer in. I think we should not give this guy no more than 200 grand. My mom was all like, 200 grand? You think he's gonna discount the property $73,000 during COVID, where he could have just put that on for 300 and would have went? I told my mom, yeah, she has a fiduciary responsibility. They even say that word right? I don't know if I said that word. To submit my offer to the owner. So she did. The owner came back with a counter offer. You know what his counter offer was, chat? Go and fuck yourself. And I was like, I clutched my pearls. I said 200,000 because I knew it would cost 50,000 to rehab the joint, right? That put me up at 250. So technically, that's a $20,000 discount. It's not a $73,000 discount. It's a $20,000 discount. Because the house would have cost me $250, right? I'm not gonna spend $273 and then put $50,000 on it. He told me to go and fuck myself. And I thought at that time that I was smart. So I monitored the property, right? I monitored the property. It then sold for $260. So he gave a $10,000 discount to the new people that wanted to buy it. The house was on the market for a long time because the house needed a lot of work. Okay. That house today is probably worth between $300,000 and $400,000. So as I sit here today, I would have $200,000 or close to it of equity to put in my fucking pocket. Maybe take 10,000 of that money and drop it into my YouTube channel so people can actually watch what I'm fucking saying. Dumb move. Dumb fucking move. While the world is ending and people are dying, I was not smart enough to take advantage of the situation that was handed to me. Did you do the same? How many of us drew in the greatest redistribution of wealth in American history? How many of us fucked that up? Bezos didn't fuck it up. Let's do something else, man. LVMH during, look at that. This is one of the greatest phenomenons in American history. LVMH's stock price. Where is it? It's not showing me up. You know what? Let's go to it won't even show. But you guys could do this research on your own. LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy. Exactly. Bezos played big bank takes little bank. That's what these guys were doing. That's what all these guys were doing. People with money were seizing the opportunity at the greatest discount sale in American history. I'll say that again. During COVID was the greatest sale in American history. LVMH was a low stock price. During COVID, it just skyrocketed. Why? Because everybody's home buying Moet and Hennessy and buying Louis Vuitton with the $20,000 that the fucking government gave you. We had the GameStop phenomenon going on. I played that game. I also bought stock options in Sun, which is a weed company because during COVID, everybody thought that dispensaries were going to be the biggest cash cow ever. 5 years later, if you own a dispensary, you're fucked. Why? Because they grew so much weed in Oregon to ship to dispensaries, but the government was delaying the opening of dispensaries. Weed is something that goes bad. You can't keep weed around for 5 years. It's not alcohol. So there was an over surplus of weed. And weed, 2020, that's when weed was like, oh man, this is going to be the new frontier. So son, I bought the stock option on that. During that time, they had to hit the circuit breaker on the stock market, because that was it. It was a bloodbath. We have a disease. We have no clue what's happening. We can't go outside. We can't go inside. CNN was posting how many people were dying a day. The stock market shit his fucking pants. And this goes back to Larry Jordan's comment at 2:31 and 19 seconds. We cannot just hand out money to people, because we gave you money already. We gave you money already. We gave you money already. We gave you opportunities. Then George Floyd happened. 2000 to 2002 was probably the greatest. 2000 to 2002, our kids will talk about that time period as one of the greatest times in American history. You had the stock market crumbling. You had real estate going insane. You had the eye-opening of police brutality in America. It was the time where you were able to grab your white neighbor and say, look what they're doing to us. They're killing black people all over the country. Police brutality is at an all-time high. They're killing us in the streets. Black lives matter. So then white allies of Black Lives Matter started to fund black businesses and black agendas. That was the time for you to go to the courts and be, hey, listen, man, you're going to make weed legal. You got me. Distribution, I think, of a Class A substance that shows up on my quarry. I can't get a job. I sold a fucking dime bag and you guys are breaking my fucking balls. Can I get this shit off my record? Hey, listen, I had a gun charge at 18 because I live in an environment that's hostile. So I had to carry a gun. I'm not in a gang, but I had to carry a gun because I was terrified for my life in my community. Can we get rid of this gun charge? You know how many people I know that got gun charges erased, gone, zilcho, not expunged, not expunged, disappeared. Not even the federal government can pull up that query. Gonzo off the record. And then what are they going to do? Boston Firearms was giving out was doing firearm safety courses. You expunge the gun charge. Now you can go and carry a firearm. You can't make this fucking shit up. Think about that shit for a minute. Finally. That beat's loud. I gotta turn that beat down. Finally, your white friend, your white neighbor, your white coworker feels some sort of sympathy towards you. Unless you watch Fox News, like, yo, this is a whole bunch of bullshit. So why now, 5 years later, we want to scrutinize the people who had the foresight to go, hey, listen, man, hard times don't last. Like Falon.com said, Bezos played big bank, takes little bank. That's what was going on. What were you guys doing? You were buying NFTs, which is bullshit. You were buying cryptocurrency. You were in the Dogecoin game, which was inflated and deflated by Elon Musk's manipulation. You were buying digital real estate next door to Snoop Dogg for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 in the metaverse. What happened to the metaverse? Let's say that again. They fooled you into buying digital real estate on the internet so you could live in the metaverse. And you wanted to live next door to Snoop Dogg in the metaverse. Let me take a sip of water. Let's break that down again. You took your $20,000 to buy digital real estate next door to Snoop Dogg in the metaverse. How many stupid pieces of NFTs did you fucking buy? And if you went to anyone that owned an NFT, what the fuck is it? Non-fungible token. What the fuck does that even mean? So again, the smart people were able to grab that money back. Now it's all said and done. COVID's like 5 years ago, man. Believe it or not. COVID is like gonzo. Gonzo in the wind. To the point where you see people wearing a mask still, you're like, what the fuck, bro? When you see people wearing a mask still today, you think about, wow, it's crazy. When you see people wearing a mask today is equivalent to, fuck, that motherfucker's wearing bell bottoms in 2024. That time period is so far away that baggy clothes is back in style. Let me say that again. COVID is so far in our past that people are now wearing baggy clothes again. That was the greatest distribution of wealth in American fucking history. Lost a lot of friends during COVID. A lot. I lost a lot of friends during COVID, man. Globally. England, America, Jamaica. Lost a lot of people during that time period. And now here we stand. I mean, God bless everybody's soul that lost. Peace be with you. Now that we're here and we look back at it and we see this enormous collection of wealth, and you have politicians playing the accumulation, manipulation, distribution game for us to shame big money. As we stand here today and we look back at it and we see the growth, I mean, it's the gap between the rich and the poor before COVID was the length of a street, right? Like, how the fuck am I going to get over that street? That's a big jump. To go from curb to curb, to jump from one curb to the other curb is a big fucking jump. And that was the wealth gap in America before COVID. After COVID, that gap is like the Grand Canyon. Before COVID, you could have built a ramp, rode a pedal bike really fast and launched yourself over the street and landed. Hopefully you landed if you didn't fucking go into your neighbor's front yard and broke through their window. Now, the wealth gap has increased so far that you need to go and buy a helicopter to cross that gap. So we went from you buying a $300 BMX bike and building a launch ramp to launch over the street. Now you got to go and buy a helicopter to close that gap. If the rich was to give away their money to the poor would become poor and the rich would accumulate that wealth 1,000 times full. I was going to end the stream. I want y'all motherfuckers to see my beautiful face when I say this shit. If you were to force the rich to give away their wealth to the poor. The poor would be poorer in a year, and the rich would be richer. Because what we would do is, you would give us that money and we will go back and buy all the shit at their company. If Jeff Bezos was to give away his complete net worth, divided amongst the 300 million Americans, and be broke, his net worth would 10x in 2 years. So let's pull that up. Let's pull this up, man. We got to get the graphic. Jeff Bezos' net worth. Just so we're fucking clear. If Jeff Bezos was to give away $195 billion to everyone in America equally, and his net worth was then zero, in 2 years, his net worth would probably be $1 trillion. As all of us are going to spending spree. And that's just what it is. It's chasing that high. Do not get fooled into politics. Have a good night, y'all.